Hey guys, welcome to Anime Kun. In this video we will know about Calgurio's request. Spoilers ahead, so do watch out. Subscribe the channel for more anime content. So, now let's start the video. After expressing my gratitude to Veldora and Ramiris, I headed to the 70th level of the labyrinth. Adelman is currently in a dormant phase because of yesterday's ritual. The harvest festival had begun, but Adelman's castle was still in a state of destruction. So it was that he was moved to the guest room on the main floor above ground to continue his slumber, and Albert and Wendy were moved to spare rooms. Presumably to be awakened in a while. More problematic were the Imperial captives, who had previously been looked after by Adelman, and it wasn't good to leave them hanging so long now. Besides, they should have calmed down by now, and I'd like to ask for information about the Empire. I'll go check them out while I can. Accompanying me were my two secretaries. With these two, I can be rest assured even if anything happens. You don't have to go, Rimuru-sama himself. Well, why don't you go for me? That's right, you've got to get some information. Kufufufu, we might as well go together. Diablo was as unflinching as ever. Is the same true of Cheyenne? There is absolutely no active petition to leave. Well, there's no way that I'm going to let Cheyenne go alone. I thought as I was held to the chest by Cheyenne. But then again, these two are still so energetic after just having an evolutionary ceremony yesterday. After a night in the Cheyenne, nothing has changed. And Diablo, perfectly back to his usual self. So, have you gained new abilities? Kufufufu. Thanks to Rimuru-sama, I managed to gain the ultimate skill. Finally, I don't have to put up with Guy's show-offs. From Guy's point of view, Diablo is the one who is really annoying, right? For some reason, I'm sure I thought that correctly. If you're so reluctant, you should get it yourself. I think Diablo would be able to obtain the ultimate skill himself without my help, right? No, you can't say that. Wouldn't it be lame to get it the way Guy said, as if I were to learn from him? I don't get it, not talking about parody. I'll ask for advice if I think I can use it. Was I wrong about that? Humph, Diablo is really small-minded. Is that how you say, without shame? Since being taught in this way by Lord Rimuru, I have often gone to ask others for advice. His Excellency Gabuchi also taught me the essence of cooking, and now they all agree that my craft has been handed down. Cheyenne said with a smug expression. But, I think. So, it's not like the baggage was dumped by Gabuchi. Gabuchi is also I really hope he doesn't add any strange confidence to Cheyenne. Now that you've accepted it, teach it well to the end. So that's why. Not long ago, Lord Gabuchi was hospitalized because his body would definitely collapse if he had to try the cuisine of Cheyenne every time. Then it would be bad to blame Gabuchi. In this case, Diablo had already fallen on his face, and Shuna would never taste it. I knew it, I had to get Benimaru. Well, Cheyenne's education was supposed to be Benimaru's responsibility, it would be good to stress it to him again. That's not going to be a problem for the newlyweds. Please, don't get me wrong. Because the topic of Cheyenne's relationship was a bit off topic, but in the midst of small talk we had reached our destination. After the transfer to the hills of the 70th class, everyone who saw me appear immediately saluted. I don't think it's right to do such a thing to an enemy demon lord, but Diablo and Cheyenne seem quite content, so I'd better not interject. His Majesty Rimuru is here. Immediately, informed Sir Calgurio. Everyone quickly began to move, with a tent at the center, neatly lined up on both sides of the road. It seemed that Calgurio and the rest were having a military meeting in that tent, and Rimuru and the others were led into the tent while listening to the instructions. Inside the tent, there were probably about 100 or so people in high places. They all stood straight and saluted me and greeted me. I'm a little surprised that even they are reacting this way. I'm the king of an enemy country, and I'm still a slime. They didn't even slight me, and it seems that Raphael's scheme was more successful than imagined. Well, come to think of it, it's a given. Not only did he kill him, but he also brought him back to life, and in the face of such a person, complete submissiveness is the wise thing to do. If I were you, I wouldn't have the confidence to fight back against such a dangerous person. Rimuru convinced himself and was led to the top seat. Of course, in order to show majesty on such occasions, to take on human form. Cheyenne and Diablo stood behind me, respectively. Because I was out of Cheyenne's embrace, she still had a somewhat regretful expression on her face. If you care about such a place, you lose, so I looked around at everyone and said, "So, guys. Just in time, the top brass have gathered." Yes. Because everyone bowed their heads together, it was troublesome, so there was no way to talk properly. I let them all take their seats and then began to explain the coming. All of you relax. I'm here today to talk to you guys. I said this with a smile to everyone. It's better for the meeting to be relaxed and gentle. Adelman's been up to something lately and may not be here for a while. So, I was wondering if there was anything you guys would like to mention. I dare not. You've treated us well enough, don't bother anymore. So stiff. Calgurio spoke back as a representative, completely respectful. Nope, that's the common attitude right there. They are the defeated ones, and it's the right thing to do. That's good. And then, what about the way forward? Yes. And on that note, we have a request. Request? As long as it's not something that can't be done, let's just listen. Then, Calgurio made a startling claim. We would like to live in this country for the time being, and see if you can accommodate us. Wait. I listened to the content in detail. According to Calgurio, it just so happens that right now, they are also discussing the way forward. And then came to the conclusion that even back in the Empire, they would only be killed all over. No, you're going too far. There is no country that kills soldiers who fight for their country just because they are defeated. I couldn't help but gag. However, I think there's no doubt it will turn out that way. Who did you think it was? It was Bonnie. I can't believe it's the same person who attacked us, he said calmly and clearly. Nor, according to his account, it can't be completely denied that there is no such possibility. Are you kidding me? It's true. No, wait. If that's true, the earlier statement about suspending military aggression for fear of Veldora's seal being lifted now sounds suspicious, too. Maybe that's my mistake too, and he is actually waiting for the storm dragon to come back? What Emperor Rudra was thinking is also hard for me to understand. But, in my humble opinion, His Majesty Rimuru is probably right. This guy, is it really Bonnie? It's like he's being a different person. But then again, is that so? Emperor Rudra's true purpose was not simply to win the war. Instead, the Empire's soldiers were to face off against a strong opponent, so that they could select a strong man who could awaken. It's a big move, beyond the realm of normal human thought. Answer. Very interesting idea. You're an idiot. It's not funny to think of people as experimental material. That being said, the King of Wisdom has that side too. Zijin, for example, is a success story, and it's really kind of scary to think that maybe it's happening to me, too, that I'm being used as a test subject somewhere. When I don't know. No such instances have been found. Seriously. Well, there's still credibility in that. Anyway, we'll talk about this later. The question is whether or not to accept Calgurio and the others' request. But, your food is not free either. It's an extra 700,000 people's rations, and they'll have to be bought from other countries. Hearing that they would be killed back home, it was a bit of a hesitation to let them go. But it is also true that our country has no reason to shelter them. All I have to answer for is my own nationals. I hope they live strong. As much as I want to say so, I can't just leave it at that. If 700,000 professional soldiers had been admitted, the Western countries, led by the Kingdom of Blumend, would not have remained silent. One messed up and unnecessary bloodshed ensued. That being said, it would be too ruthless to let them return. Since I saved their lives, I'll be responsible until the end. There's no way around it, it's better to take them in. But it's not free. In our country, he who does not work does not gain, you can earn your own rations. Is that okay? Nervously holding their breath as they waited for me to answer, the Calgurio and the others' faces brightened as they listened. That's for sure. At your service. We haven't even said what they're going to do, but they're all looking very energetic. That being the case, I gave them permission to stay here. When all is said and done, it seems to me that capturing captives doesn't mean much to the Empire. Because there was no wartime agreement done, and nothing prescribed. And it seems to me, listening to Bonnie, that there is little use for an armistice bargaining condition. In that case, it would be better to use them as labor. While the stays are undetermined, at least give me some good labor until the war with the Empire is over. I don't know if it will come in handy if it's too short, but I'm still watching more. Hopefully, they'd play some better role. And they weren't about to disobey me either, so just please give them to Geld to let them live for a while. But then again, Geld is, at the moment, still in evolutionary slumber. It's still a while until he awakens, and they should be allowed to do something before then. By the way, are you good at civil engineering? Groups like the military, unexpectedly, have a lot of people who are good at technology. It's still in my past life, but the samurai commanding the building of the castle is still quite famous. Even in modern times, the self-defense forces are active in various disaster relief scenes, and the news has reported active scenes of relief overseas. By the same token, the working forces in Dworgen in this world pride themselves on having a high level of skill. It's plain, but it actually makes a difference. Then again, it is not too much to say that it is because of the presence of the former head of the dwarven workforce, Kaijin, that a solid foundation has been laid for our country. It was that situation that created the close link between the military and civil engineering technology. Of course, I can confidently say that the Empire's skill level is the highest. Great. In that case, let me show you first. Well, first job. See this destroyed city now, and restore it in its entirety. The materials will be prepared by me, but they'll be in your hands from the design stage. You can do it, right? Since it was broken by them, it is natural for them to fix it. Listening to my request, Calgurio nodded. As you wish. Calgurio nodded confidently, and the men who had received the instructions left quickly. That quick and unified feeling is just the kind of man who does his job. The skeletons will also be able to return to work when Adelman awakens, and it's estimated that the rebuilding will be over shortly after. And just like that, the Imperial Army was appointed to the job. That's it for this video. Subscribe the channel for more anime contents. Meet you on next video.